Hey folks, Segasonicfan here, and this is just a supplemental to the excellent iFixit guide for replacing your screen on your Nintendo 3DS XL. But there was some stuff missing, and while there are quite a few videos out there for this guy, I didn't find one specifically for this issue, so I thought I would make it. Basically, the guide sort of ends on ifixit.com at the most difficult part and the most important part, because it's a part where you can really damage your screen and your cables that run up in here. And so that part is, of course, where it tells you to remove all of these ribbon cables in the hinge. It doesn't really show like a video and doesn't really show any pictures of it. It does say that you can remove this hinge block here, which I found to be incredibly difficult. I did find a video on it where somebody stuck like a flathead in here and really like pushed. That was requiring so much force that it was looking like I was just going to really break this thing if I did that. So I kind of gave up on that, and I realized I really just had to get these ribbon cables, figure out which of these ribbon cables went to the screen, and then get it out of here. And that's easier said than done. So what I ended up having to do, of course, is figure out that this is the most internal one right here, is the screen ribbon cable. And you're going to need some very fine tweezers, actually 2 pairs of very fine tweezers. And then I use these kind of larger ones with plastic bits because they're a little softer, a little less likely to break or tear the delicate ribbon cable that we have here. I'm not going to do this again on camera, I apologize, but basically you have to wiggle this, you have to basically slightly bend it and wiggle it to get down into that recess. Now I thought this line here was a place where maybe the ribbon cable could feed into to help out. Not the case. At least nothing that I could find. There's actually metal in here, and there's nothing that I could find to remove that. I'm not sure how they do this at the factory. I feel like there's got to be an easier way. But yeah, you want to remove this internal one, and it kind of wraps around your Wi-Fi cable as well, making things extra difficult. A couple other points of note is these cables here have an adhesive. There's an adhesive on the backing of the screen here that basically keeps these in place. Once that's gone, when you're replacing the screen, as I am here, you'll have to come up with another solution, of course. And you can use pretty much any kind of tape, but I find polyamide or Kapton is a really good candidate for this. And it's especially important for keeping this guy in place. And you can see it's already kind of popping out. So I might end up, I might end up redoing this one. And actually make it further up here. Yeah. So I can keep this guy in place. There's like 2 very small notches on the plastic. It's not my favorite design, but it kind of works. And then of course, once you take out the speaker, once you take out this guy and this board and this speaker, this dude falls out. And there wasn't a lot of detail for putting this one back in. From what I could tell, though, I believe your switch goes in here, and mine fell out again, it looks like, it would appear. So I'm going to use my very small screwdriver here. I use electric screwdrivers quite a lot in my work. I didn't use them for this. It's just too small, too delicate. I'm not the kind of person that does a whole lot of phone repairs, so maybe if that's your super comfort zone and you do iPhone repairs all day long, knock yourself out. But for me, it's not my wheelhouse as much. Okay. And so, yeah, you can see how this works is it actually uses the plastic to keep the slider from going all the way in either direction. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't actually use the mechanical part of the slider itself to stop that, which is fine. Just thought it was interesting. And so yeah, that should hopefully keep that in the appropriate way, assuming I installed that correctly, and I think I did. But I'll double check on that a little bit later. But yeah, I think that's correct. Anyway, and then yeah, you just have to feed that cable out through here, and then you got to do it in reverse. And again, you have to kind of wrap it around and have it in between this black colored one and then the one underneath it. So the screen is actually sandwiched in the middle, if I remember correctly. And then the other thing you got to be aware of is there's a little plastic nub that has sort of a spring strain relief. You're supposed to squeeze it to remove this PCB. I just kind of pulled on it a little bit, snapped right off. So you can see I put a little dab of hot glue here. I know it's not beautiful, but it'll do the job. Now it's securely in there. So that's another kind of booby trap type thing to be aware of when you're working on this. And then of course this is the camera that kind of pops in just fine. But yeah, go very, very slow with the screen ribbon cable. It's quite frustrating. It really is the hardest part of this replacement / repair is carefully getting this cable in and out of that hinge. So yeah, hopefully this video is useful as kind of a supplementary information guide to the iFixit guide. I'll post a link to the iFixit guide in the description if I remember. Feel free to comment if I forget. And have fun, doing successful Nintendo 3DS XL screen repairs. This is Segasonicfan, signing out.